You ever notice how certain people get called out for crashing out? Like it's always a bad thing? Sometimes people lose it for a reason. Most of the time, it's not random. They've been pushed too far, ignored, disrespected, or put in an impossible situation. Crashing out can be an art. It's wild how some people go from 0 to 100 so quickly. But if you really look at the situation, a lot of it makes sense. Let's start with John Walker. When The Falcon and the Winter Soldier came out, people instantly hated on him. Mostly for killing a flag smasher. Everyone kept saying, Steve Rogers wouldn't have done that. Like Steve never killed anyone. Be serious. Superheroes kill all the time. We just ignore it because they're the main characters. The hate John got was never about morality. It was because he wasn't Steve. Walker was more than qualified to be Captain America. The guy was a decorated soldier. He didn't steal the role. Sam gave up the shield, and the government handed it to him. From day one, Bucky and Sam looked down on him for just doing his job. And then the real turning point. Walker's best friend Lamar, Battlestar, gets killed right in front of him during a fight with the Flag Smashers. The guy Walker ends up killing was literally holding him down so Carly could stab him. In that moment, after everything, Walker snapped. And yeah, he killed that guy. It wasn't clean. It wasn't noble. But it was human. Carly and her crew had already been killing civilians, bombing buildings and taking hostages. But suddenly, when one of them dies, it's a problem? The show was trying so hard to paint Walker as a villain, but he wasn't evil. He was grieving, traumatized, and abandoned by the very system that created him. Sam didn't take up the shield. Bucky was bitter he wasn't Steve, and both of them treated Walker like dirt for no real reason. Even after losing everything, his title, his friend, his purpose, he still showed up later to help save people. That's character. People are only now starting to appreciate how good a character John Walker really is, especially with how well Thunderbolts turned out. But the truth is, the hate was never justified. It was just emotional bias because he wasn't the original Cap. Now, let's talk about Benson from regular show. Growing up, most of us thought he was just the angry boss yelling all the time. But watching it back now as adults, Benson makes perfect sense. He wasn't some grumpy villain. He was a manager trying to get grown men to do the bare minimum. Mordecai and Rigby barely ever did their jobs. Every task turned into some disaster because they were too lazy or distracted, and it always came back to bite Benson. He kept threatening to fire them, but never really did. Not because he was weak, but because deep down he cared. He wanted them to grow up, take responsibility, and stop messing around. One of the most painful episodes is when Mordecai and Rigby destroy a car, and Benson takes the blame. He has to drive all day to fix the issue, and along the way, he lets the boys ride along. They start bonding, and for once, it looks like everything's going smoothly. But then they ditch him at the arcade and nearly cost him his job. And that's when he says the line, "If I lose my job, I have nothing." It hit hard. Benson wasn't just yelling for no reason. He was stressed, overworked, and constantly cleaning up other people's messes. We've all worked with people like that. And when you look back, you realize Benson's anger was the most relatable thing about him. And finally, Mr. Turner and Dinkleberg. As kids, it was a funny gag. Mr. Turner always yelling Dinkleberg, for no reason. But now, it's a whole new level of understandable. Dinkleberg had it all: money, peace, a good life, and no kids to stress over. Meanwhile, Mr. Turner's life was falling apart. His job sucked, his house was chaotic, and everything that could go wrong did. And every time, Dinkleberg would show up, smiling, winning, and low-key rubbing it in. Even back in the day, Turner's wife was close to Dinkleberg, and that definitely added to the bitterness. It wasn't just hate, it was envy, disappointment, and that feeling of constantly falling short compared to someone who doesn't even try. Mr. Turner saw Dinkleberg as the source of all his problems. But really, Dinkleberg was just the face of everything he didn't have. And while he may have taken it too far sometimes, it's hard not to sympathize. We've all had someone like that in our lives. someone who seems perfect while you're barely holding it together. Sometimes, all it takes is one smug smile to push you over the edge. So yeah, crashing out might seem wild from the outside, but once you understand what leads up to it, it's not always so black and white. Whether it's John Walker dealing with grief, Benson holding a workplace together, or Mr. Turner stuck in lifelong frustration, these reactions weren't just explosions.